This is a controversial one. Two sisters from Saudi Arabia have lashed out against the use of a smartphone app that they say allows male relatives to monitor and control women's travel.
Too many girls enforced to marry and enforced to leave their study and we are our story, of course. My family, they not trust us very well. So bad for us, and we have a proof for everything.
Well, this app is provided by the country's Interior Ministry, and among other features, it allows fathers, brothers, husbands, etc. to update or withdraw women's rights to travel abroad. It also notifies if female relatives' passports are used in airports. What do you think about that, Mark? Saudi Arabia, whatever you think about it, operates the so-called guardianship system under which Saudi women must have permission from a male relative to work, to marry or to travel. Now, the two sisters say that they had to use their father's phone in the end to leave the country. Their passports are now suspended in Saudi Arabia and there's apparently no way to get them back for now. The two are urging the tech giants, however, to remove this app because they say it violates fundamental human rights. And this is what the Saudi Interior Ministry had to say about the subject.
The ministry strongly condemns the systematic campaign aimed at questioning the purpose of app share services. At the same time, confirms its rejection of the attempts to politicize the systematic use of technical instruments, which represent legitimate rights to the users.
Well, a footnote for now, both Apple and Google say they have been criticised for hosting the app. It's been installed on smartphones more than 1 million times. The UN's human rights chief is also questioning the use of applications like this.
Technology can and should be all about progress, but the hugely invasive powers that are being unleashed may do incalculable damage if there are not sufficient checks in place to respect human rights.
Well, further to what Google and Apple had to say, they promised to review the application. Any which way, we got the opinions of Catherine Shakdam from the al-Subai Centre for Planning and Studies and also JAVED Rana, an expert on political and social issues facing Muslims these days.
These applications are essentially meant to know about the location of the family members, to know about the welfare of the family members. There seems to be a lack of understanding of Muslim culture where the protection of women is at the topmost priority. If this particular application is being used to track of women for some negative reasons, that is an altogether a different debate.
It forces women into turning into commodities and allowing their guardian, so might they be their father, their son, their cousin, or their uncle, or whoever else, to have control over everything that happens to them. Not only their movement, but their right to travel, their right to be, their right to see whomever they wish to see, and their right to actually make their own choices.
In Muslim culture, the woman doesn't need to go for some sort of employment. She gets all kind of financial help from her father, from her brother, from her husband. So they've been very much particular about it. Now the trouble is the West is not understanding these values.
I am a Muslim myself, and I lived in Yemen, and I've experienced what it is to be treated differently because you are a woman, to be treated like a second-class citizen, to be treated as a commodity, and being told what to do and how to live and how to be. And I can tell you that as a woman, it is profoundly repressive, and I reject it. And I actually think that it's completely hateful on your part to say that it's somehow rational to hold this kind of narrative in the 21st century.
So it is basically a question of their security. It's not a question of trying to control them. That is a Western lens.
You're trying to turn this debate into an Islamic debate. You're trying to move this to the religious plane when it has nothing to do with anything. And you're trying to tell us that in Saudi Arabia, women are free to do whatever they want. It's simply not true. You're trying to say that the guardianship system has been set up by Saudi Arabia because they love the women so much that they have to protect them against themselves. It is ridiculous.
Women are free, but they have the choice. And when they make their choice in the Islamic countries, that is an issue. When they make their choice in the Western countries, that doesn't become an issue. It's not a question of applications. It is a question of basically the approach, the thinking with which we try to evaluate everything, with which we try to see everything. Now, I think the point she is not making, and that is that in Islam, there is generally there is some sort of advisory that the male should be with the women whenever they go out. That is just for the sake of protection.
It has absolutely nothing to do with Islam, and people need to stop making it about a religious issue when it has nothing to do with anything. It is a human rights issue. It has everything to do with the way that Saudi Arabia conducts its affairs within its country against women.
Yeah, that was part of a much longer conversation. They're the kind of stories that you don't see reported everywhere else, so we try and get to the bottom of, bringing you the views from both sides. Tell us what you think by liking us on Facebook or following RT on Twitter. For now, from me, Kevin Owen, and the rest of the team on duty here at RTHQ this Monday, have a great day.